Brahma, one of the principal deities in Hinduism, is known as the creator within the cosmic trinity that includes Vishnu the preserver and Shiva the destroyer. Yet despite his role as the creator of the universe, Brahma's stories are filled with unique, often unexpected twists that reveal complex facets of his character. Today, we'll explore some of the lesser-known, peculiar stories about him. I will give references on the screen so you can verify it later. You might be wondering, if Brahma is a creator, how can he have a creator of his own? Shouldn't that entity be called the true creator instead? Well, my answer is simple. This is Hinduism. But how did the creator himself come into being? Intriguingly, the origins of Brahma are anything but straightforward. Different texts offer varied and fascinating narratives about his birth. Let's explore a few of these accounts. In the ancient Hindu scriptures, the creation story begins with Brahman, the supreme consciousness, existing alone in infinite stillness. Desiring to create, Brahman deposited its semen into the primordial cosmic waters. From this divine act, the Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg, was born, floating in the vast waters of potentiality. From the Hiranyagarbha, Brahma emerged, the creator, endowed with the wisdom and power to shape the universe. Another fascinating story about the birth of Brahma comes from the Vishnu Purana and the Bhagavata Purana. According to these sacred texts, Brahma was born from a radiant golden lotus that emerged from the navel of Lord Vishnu, who lay resting on the cosmic serpent Shisha amidst the primordial waters. As the first conscious being, Brahma opened his eyes in the vast expanse of the lotus, bewildered and searching for the source of his origin. In his moment of confusion, a divine voice guided him to meditate. Through intense meditation, Brahma awakened the wisdom and power needed to shape the universe, fulfilling his role as a creator. Before delving into the intriguing story of Brahma and Saraswati, it's essential to first understand an important detail from Hindu scriptures. According to the Brahma Purana and the Bhagavata Purana, Saraswati is described as none other than the daughter of Brahma himself. According to the Bhagavata Purana, an unusual and unsettling story unfolds. As Brahma, the creator, gazes upon his daughter Vak, often identified with Saraswati, his mind becomes clouded by an intense attraction. This lapse in judgment doesn't go unnoticed. Brahma's sons, who are embodiments of wisdom and virtue, confront him. They remind him of his sacred role as the creator, urging him to abandon his desires. The Matsya Purana offers a unique perspective on Brahma's obsession with Saraswati, also known as Shatarupa. This narrative explains the origin of Brahma's multiple heads, illustrating the extremes of his infatuation. When Saraswati sought to avoid Brahma's gaze, she moved in different directions. However, Brahma was determined to keep her in his sight, and with each movement she made, he manifested a new head to follow her. When a fifth head appears due to his obsessive fixation, Shiva intervenes, cutting it off in anger. This act leads to a divine decree that Brahma, despite his role as creator, will not be worshipped like other deities. In a dramatic tale from the Matsya Purana and Shiva Purana, Brahma becomes captivated by Saraswati and pursues her as she transforms into various forms to escape his gaze. In one iconic moment, she becomes a doe, while Brahma transforms into a stag to follow her. In the Shiva Purana, deities intervene to stop Brahma, helping Saraswati confront him and reminding him of the moral boundaries. According to the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Krishna Jamakanda, Brahma married his own daughter Saraswati, the enchantress of the three worlds. The text describes how Brahma and Saraswati spent their time in seclusion, indulging in deep affection and intimacy across various celestial locations. After a period of divine companionship and enjoyment, Brahma returned with Saraswati to Brahmaloka. In the Shiva Purana, there is a peculiar and thought-provoking moment involving the creator god Brahma and Sati Mata, who is the wife of Lord Shiva. The text describes Brahma being struck by an intense sense of admiration and passion upon seeing the unparalleled beauty of Sati Mata. Overcome by the influence of Kamadeva, the god of love, Brahma lifts her veil to gaze upon her face. Brahma, overwhelmed by his emotions, experiences a physical response, for drops of his semen virile fell to the ground like drops of dew. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahma Kanda, we encounter a fascinating tale. The story begins with Kamadeva and his consort, Rithi, bowing respectfully to Lord Krishna. Following this act of devotion, they are seated on gem-encrusted thrones in a celestial setting. Kamadeva, known for wielding a bow of flowers, carries 5 special arrows. To test the potency of his arrows, Kamadeva releases all 5 at once. Their effect is immediate and profound. Instantly, the people present are overcome with passion and desire. Even Brahma is not immune to the power of these divine arrows. At the sight of Rithi, Kamadeva's beautiful consort, Brahma experiences an uncontrollable reaction. His semen falls to the ground, symbolizing his momentary lapse into desire. Out of modesty, he conceals his emission with his garments, attempting to hide his embarrassment. In the Shiva Purana, Parvati Kand, a fascinating incident involving Brahma is described. The story unfolds as Brahma finds himself overwhelmed by the beauty of the goddess Parvati. Deluded by Shiva's divine illusion, Brahma gazes intently at Parvati's crescent-shaped toenails and her other features. Caught in this moment of passion, Brahma experiences a physical response. His semen falls to the ground. Embarrassed by this unexpected event, he presses his penis with his feet, attempting to hide his shame. Furious at Brahma for succumbing to lust, Shiva is filled with righteous anger and contemplates punishing him for his actions. In the Padma Purana, an extraordinary tale unfolds about the birth of a special son through divine intervention and human devotion. The story begins with Santanu, a revered sage whose spiritual radiance rivaled that of Brahma himself. Santanu's wife, Amoga, was a woman of great beauty and virtue, her youth and grace reflecting her inner purity. One day Brahma, the creator, visited Santanu's home. At the time the sage was away in the forest, gathering flowers and performing his ascetic duties. Amoga, being a devoted and hospitable wife, welcomed Brahma with utmost respect. She offered him water to wash his feet and treated him with reverence, as was customary for a guest. After paying her respects, she withdrew to the inner chambers of the house. Upon seeing Amoga, Brahma was captivated by her beauty and virtuous demeanor. Overwhelmed by sudden passion, the creator found himself unable to control his emotions. His semen was inadvertently discharged onto the seat in the house. Embarrassed and filled with guilt, Brahma quickly departed. When Santanu returned and saw the traces of semen on the seat, he questioned his wife. Amoga truthfully recounted what had transpired. Explaining that Brahma had visited and left abruptly, Santanu realized that the semen of Brahma, the Supreme Soul, held a special purpose. He instructed his wife Amoga, saying, "By my order, preserve this sacred semen, for it will result in the birth of a son destined to purify all the worlds. This event will fulfill our auspicious desires." Obeying her husband's command, Amoga, with devotion and humility, ingested the sacred semen of Brahma. In time, this act led to the birth of a son. One of the most fascinating and thought-provoking incidents involving Brahma is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It describes how Lord Brahma, in his role as the creator of the universe, gave birth to various beings. From his buttocks, Brahma gave rise to the demons. These beings were consumed by excessive lust and uncontrolled desires. As soon as they were born, these demons were overwhelmed by their lustful tendencies. They approached Brahma himself, driven by their desires, seeking to engage in sexual union with him.